about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is
K-N-I-C-K. Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 677 of the New York Knicks podcast. I am Jay. What's going on, Mark?
Well, I guess it's over. The Knicks got eliminated from the playoffs last night. The season's over. My understanding is this is our last episode of the show. The Knicks are shutting down as an organization, and the Mayans predict tomorrow is the end of the world. Yeah, how you doing?
So you've been spending a lot of time on social media.
Yes, I spending a lot of time on social media. I don't know. I think when the Knicks win, I spend a little bit of time on social media. When the Knicks lose, I spend way too much time on social media.
Just doom scrolling for like an hour.
I'm looking for something to support my anger. Oh, good. More anger points. More anger points.
Yeah, so playoffs started. Knicks played 2 games since last episode. And,
Knicks won the first game,
yeah.
and they lost the second game. We're going to spend most of the time talking about the loss, not the victory. 21-0 run. Great. Wonderful. Knicks last night. We could go back and forth on topics of anger if you want.
I mean,
I don't know if you remember, Jay.
Yeah.
You just went audio issue on us.
Awesome. How's
Okay.
that?
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, the first game wasn't great either, if we're being honest.
Well, at the beginning of the second half, if you recall from last night's game, I don't know if you were watching the MSG feed or the what was it on TNT. What feed was it
I
on?
had to watch the TNT feed.
Jay, what are you doing with the audio?
Is my audio all messed up?
Yeah, it is. Just much like the Knicks defense, your audio is messed up.
Okay.
It was perfect 5 seconds ago, Jay.
Okay.
Are you kidding me, Jay?
I don't know. Oh, wait. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Holy shit. This is like
I
watching
think-
Cat play defense, Jay.
I think the equipment's getting old.
Ah, it's dying like the show. Dun dun. Okay.
It seems to be just going in and out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You-
that's fun.
There you go. there you
Okay.
go.
I'm not
We're
going to
back,
touch
okay.
anything. Don't move a
Okay,
muscle.
don't touch anything. Do not touch a thing.
Okay.
Okay, at the beginning of so I watched the MSG feed, and at the beginning of the second half, they interviewed Carmelo Anthony on the. He was in the audience. They interviewed him on the sideline, and Carmelo was just like, they're like, what do you think the Knicks need to do like the second half? And he's like, first thing he said was like, play tougher, fight fair, and then he was like, and Josh Hart should stop passing up shots. And I was like, even Melo is pointing out the obvious. What? Josh Hart is driving me effing crazy.
I didn't see that interview because the Gotham app is basically unusable, so I had to watch through Max, and so I watched the TNT feed there, which works perfectly.
Oh,
So
okay.
somebody who works for Gotham should take some notes about how to have a feed work.
Yeah, good job. Your feed works as well as Tibbs' offensive game plan.
Well, I mean, the first game wasn't exactly great.
No, it wasn't. I was pretty sure the game was going to end around the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. I mean, great. They made a 21-0 run, but they needed a 21-0 run. So that's a problem. And it seems like their strategy going into game 2 was, let's just recreate game 1. We'll suck for 3 quarters and then go on a 21-0 run in the 4th.
So I booked a little romantic weekend for me and my wife. I booked this like a couple months ago, not realizing this would be game 1 of the playoffs. And so I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? When we're like 7:30, we're start at 6 o'clock. We're gonna go out for dinner. And I'm like, shit. And I'm like, well, I can watch the game on my phone. So I'm watching the game on the phone, and a guy at the Jay, you're gone again. Why are you touching stuff?
I didn't touch anything. While you were at dinner
Okay.
is when this happened?
So we were sitting at the bar at the restaurant, and one of the guys that works there comes over, sees me. He's like, "What? You're watching the Knicks game? Oh, don't worry, we'll show it on the big screen."
Oh, nice.
And I didn't even see a TV. They bring the TV out of the closet above the bar, and suddenly we're watching the Knicks game on a large TV.
I'm sure your wife was thrilled about
romantic.
that.
The best was like we were done with dinner at like around the end of the third quarter. She's like, let's get the check and we can head back to the hotel. You can watch it at the hotel. I'm like, I'm not leaving. So we're gonna stay for the fourth quarter. She's like, what do you mean we're gonna just get a drink? I don't know where we're staying. Okay.
That's funny. So you spent the rest of the time at the restaurant bar?
Yeah, I watched the rest of the game. It went also like, I mean, like I went from being like, oh shit, I can't believe shit. She's like, oh my god. Like obviously a dramatic. The 21-0 run was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was great. It's just I don't have the same.
Jay,
What are
what
you
are
really
you
just going to
doing?
do this the entire episode?
Really, it really is breaking. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the problem is.
I think the problem is that Tibbs refuses to experiment or play Mitch and Cat for any stretch of time together. The problem is that we traded Dante when we should have traded Josh Hart. I don't know what the problem is, Jay.
Yeah. So I just don't have the same confidence in this year's team that I did last year.
Do you want to go? Should we go player by player for like point by point? Like we take turns picking like a topic of anger from last night or the series in general.
Yeah. I mean, it's basic. It's almost the same points. Jay Shady says Payne, who saved the game, played 4 minutes in game 2, which is basically criminal by Tibbs. We need an actual point guard on the floor for the second unit.
I mean, it's crazy to have like campaign savior of game 1. You don't play in game 2. And I know we got 3 quick fouls, but like holy shit, just leave him out there. Who cares if he fouls out? You're not going to play him anyway.
Right. Play him in the second half at least. That was weird. It's like you saw game 1, right? Like you saw what he did. Like
Yeah. There's so many things. Okay, let's just go point by point. Okay, like not point by like no order here. But since I've already brought up Josh Hart and my anger towards Josh Hart, and I love Josh Hart, but kind of have anger towards Josh Hart also with this. Last year, the Knicks had tons of injuries, right?
Yeah.
And because of the tons of injuries, I think Josh Hart looked around and said, "There's no one left to pass the ball to. I have to play more offense."
Yeah.
It's just like there's so many people are injured. It's on me. I need to score because it's me, Dante, Brunson. There's not many guys who can score here. I have to take a huge role in the offense. But now he's gone back to his more comfortable position of like, hey, these guys are all better on offense than me. I'm just get me the ball and I'll do my best job to set someone else up.
Yeah.
And it kills every time he's standing there on the 3-point line or somewhere else. They pass him the ball and he doesn't shoot. Instead, he dribbles around to find someone else. You are killing the play.
He's being too nice. Don't be nice. This is the playoffs. We don't have time for nice.
Well, it's also like forgetting the playoffs. If you want to have a successful NBA career going forward, stop being nice. Be your be Josh Hart from last year. Be a goddamn dog. Like do everything you can because you know what? Like the next upgrade might be trading Josh Hart.
He's not the best shooter on the team, but he's not terrible. You got to keep the defense honest. You can't just defer. Take the shots.
Okay, Jay, you have to pick. You can only have 2 of these 3 guys: Dante, Mikal, and Josh Hart. Which 2 are you keeping? Who are you sending off? Who are you sending off the boat?
Oh God! So we're just never gonna get the Villanova team together.
We're never gonna get the Villanova. Yeah, we're not gonna get the team. It's over, Jay. But I'm just saying, of the 3, which 2 would you? What would be the ideal 2 to have on the team?
I think Dante and Hart.
Okay, I think Dante and Mikal.
I was saying Hart because his rebounding is just out of this world. And
do you need his rebounding when we have a center that can play next to Towns?
Apparently we do.
You don't actually. You don't. Tibbs went on post-game press conference. He goes, "Why did we lose? Rebounding. Oh, rebounding. Play the goddamn center who gets all those rebounds."
The center who had 0 second half points.
Well, put him on the floor more. I mean, do more with it. I give him. You had to even try this lineup out in the regular season, which is insane as it is. But like, play Mitch 30 minutes. What does Josh Hart give you? He gives you defense and rebounding. Well, Mitch does that better. If you want 3-point shooting, put out Bridges. I think Josh Hart might be more of a 20 to 25-minute player a game. You cannot rely on him for the full game. He cannot be a 40-minute guy for you if you want to win games.
Well, he's a 40-minute guy.
He's not a 40-minute guy.
Well, argue with Tibbs because Tibbs says he's a 40-minute guy.
Well, you know what? Like, well, Tibbs, if you think he's a 40-minute guy, you could tell everyone next year when you don't have a job anymore that he's a 40-minute guy. You have to win this series if you want your job. And people are like, well, he hasn't even started his 3-year extension. I don't know. I think Detroit's playing 7 coaches. Phoenix is paying like 5 coaches. No one cares. They will fire him. Monty, what is it? Who's getting $10 million a year?
Yeah, Monty Williams. Yeah.
Monty Williams getting $10 million a year for the next 4 years, not to coach basketball.
Yeah.
Like it's no. The Knicks will gladly fire Tibbs if they think that they can raise their ceiling.
Yeah, yeah. And to be honest, this maybe things turn around. The Knicks were 1-1 against Cleveland 3 years ago.
Why are you touching things, Jay?
I thought it was a little low. See, now it sounds so much better.
Now it's better.
They were 1-1 against Cleveland a couple years ago, and they won the next 3. So things can turn around. It's just it doesn't look good right now.
Right, and they could have very much won last night's game. I mean, obviously tied it up with like a few minutes to go.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges. I mean, Schroeder hits that 3 against them. Mikal Bridges has 2 opportunities to tie. They get hit 3s, open 3s. He misses them. Dante would be nice in this team. Guys who are real 3-point shooters would be nice in this team. Guys who like live for like high volume 3s. Mikal Bridges, OG, they shoot 3s. They're not like shooters.
The Bridges move was not great.
Okay. Let me finish on Josh Hart for a second. Then you can
Sure.
go to Bridges.
Okay.
Why? I guess building on Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Why is Cat an advantage? What does he do?
He spreads the floor,
How does he spread the floor? He spreads the floor in the sense of like.
being the best big man shooter of all time.
So yeah. So he's advantageous in the sense of like having 5 out, which Josh Hart is not 5-man out when you have him on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he's pretty agile and like fast for a big, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So you know what's helpful?
Hmm?
If the other team is forced to cover him with their center.
Mm-hmm.
But the other teams have figured out, oh, we could put our center on non-shooting Josh Hart and play our more agile 4 on Cat to kind of take away some of his advantages.
I wasn't expecting all this Josh Hart hate today. I got to be honest.
I know he's your favorite player.
He is my favorite on the team.
Okay, I'm gonna later, like second half of the show, I'm gonna rip on Jay's whole family. I don't the Josh Hart, like the more, and there's a lot of problems here, and not just Josh Hart.
Right.
And Josh Hart does a lot of great things, and he gets a lot of passes. He got so many triple doubles this year, and so forth. But I'm starting to think he's more of a bench guy, 20, 25-minute guy. If he's playing 40 minutes, it's a problem. His lack, until he can knock down 3s, it's problematic. Until he has the confidence to go for those 3s or drive to the lane. Like, he's really good at driving to the lane when he goes all alpha. If he's going to play beta, then, like, what are we doing here?
I just want to use this moment to say that Josh Hart is shooting 66% on 3s for the playoffs.
How many 3s are there? What he shot 2 of 3?
Yes, but still,
Okay.
I just thought it was a funny stat. Mark going off his shooting. It's like he's shooting 66%.
I know what the quote is. You miss all the shots you don't take, and apparently he's not taking a lot of shots.
No,
I
he's
mean,
not.
it's, the best is like, oh, Josh Hart's barely being covered at the top of the key. Pass to Josh Hart. First thing he does is just dribbles around and looks for someone else to give the ball to, as if it's like a hot potato.
Yeah, he only took 6 shots in game 2, and he took 10 in game 1. That's fine.
I get if you're playing a non-shooting center, like fine, you have a defensive center, but I've never heard of a non-shooting shooting guard or non-shooting forward. Like you can't have another position on the floor that's a non-shooter.
Well, especially if you're gonna have Mitch out there.
Yeah, and so it makes it like Josh Hart on the floor makes it impossible to play Cat and Mitch together unless you're going all 80s basketball where we don't shoot 3s anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Who else do you want to go off on? This is going to be. By the way, the reason the Knicks lost last night, Jay has not stated the real reason. The real reason we were going to record, they lost last night is that Jay and I said, "Hey, let's record after game 2." If we record after game 1, they would have lost. We can never record a happy episode. This is an angry episode.
Even when they won like 5 in a row, we had an issue where we couldn't record, and the streak was broken before we recorded.
We are the reason Linsanity ended.
You know they're going to win a championship next year.
Yes. We are doing every Knicks fan a favor by ending the show, because when we end the show, they will go on a historic run.
Yeah.
They will probably be 82-0 next year, like sweep the playoffs, be called the greatest team ever, and people will be like, Mark and Jay really missed the ball on this one. Drop the ball. Okay, pick another. You pick the next topic of anger. These are just topics of anger. That could be your show title.
Bridges.
Okay, you mentioned Bridges.
Yeah.
Would you trade Bridges right now for 3 firsts or 2 firsts?
Can we get 3 firsts and Dante?
Or just Dante?
Or just Dante and nothing else?
Just Dante and something else. I'm okay. Minnesota, offer on the table. Josh Hart or Mikal Bridges, either one, straight up for Dante. Let's do it. He's not even like a focal point of their offense.
I know. The thing is, Bridges is good, but the trade was terrible.
The trade was terrible.
He's not worth 5 first-round picks, especially in a summer where Giannis might become available, and now the Knicks have no. If Giannis becomes available and the Knicks don't have enough draft picks to trade for him, it might go down as one of their worst trades ever.
Okay, the offer is Cat for Giannis, and Cat and some other stuff for Giannis.
Yeah, the draft picks they don't have.
Okay, that's true. Giannis, you have to say right now, I will only go to the New York Knicks. Don't say I will only go to New York, then you'll screw yourself and end up in Brooklyn.
Right.
No one likes playing in Brooklyn.
Then you'll ask out a year later.
But okay. So Brunson was out for a little while, right?
He was, yeah.
And what some lessons we learned maybe with Mikal Bridges was like, hey, he does a little better when he's the focal point of the offense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so good. Don't put him out there with the second unit. Don't make him the focal point of the offense. Thank you, Tibbs.
You know what we should also do? We should try and have McBride and Shamet be the point guards when Payne is the better point guard. And Payne isn't even a very good point guard, but
I didn't even. Yeah.
They didn't play him in the second half, and he's a better point guard than McBride and Shamet, and McBride has been kind of off too.
I don't understand how you're playing everyone so many minutes and you can't have at all times 3 of your starters on the floor. Why would you have why do you even need to put Payne and Cam? So why do you need to Payne and Shamet on the floor together at all times? Have 3 of your starters on the floor and just forget that. Don't spend a lot of time having all 5 of them together, but make sure at all times at least three of them are on the floor.
I'm not insane, right? They had Payne, McBride, and Shamet all on the floor at the same time in game 1. Why would you do that?
I have no idea. I don't know why you're doing these things. I don't know why you're playing a bench lineup. Just take the first move out. You could take Towns off the floor, put in Mitch, and then take maybe Brunson and put McBride in. Then switch them. Just keep. You could if everyone's playing 35 plus minutes, you could find a way to have everyone on the floor most of the time.
Yeah, you just stagger. I don't know why the 3 bench guys are all out at the same time. It didn't work.
It didn't work. Also, if you think rebounding matters, then to put Josh Hart or Bridges, but Josh Hart on the bench and start Mitch next to Cat. This should create advantage. Go with it a little longer. I know it hasn't looked that amazing yet in the playoffs. Give it more time. You're trying to out-muscle Jalen Duren and his Stu didn't play in the second game, but Paul Reed made us look like bitches in game 2. I can't believe how much damage he did to us. Play Mitch. If you remember 2 years ago when Mitch beat the crap out of the Cleveland Cavaliers, play him. Just give him a chance.
So the Knicks lost because of basically Cunningham, Paul Reed, and Schroeder.
Yes. Schroeder's a very good player. I wish the Knicks had a guy like Dennis Schroeder on the bench. Detroit got him for nothing.
Yeah.
He was involved in some trade. I forget the trade, but like basically Detroit just picked him up basically because no one wanted him. And the Knicks were like, we've gone all in too much on this roster. We can't even add Dennis Schroeder to the roster when he's like he's available.
There's some issues.
Can you imagine having Dennis Schroeder over McBride?
Right. Yeah, McBride, he looked so good in January. What is going on?
He's trying to play up to his contract.
I mean, he's just not looked good.
He's not been very helpful.
It used to be
like,
when he shot, I was like, oh, that's definitely going in. Now I'm like surprised when it goes in.
His defense isn't amazing. He hit that big three. And like they helped kind of launch their comeback toward in the fourth quarter. But like McBride hasn't been that great. Though I still think I might just do 5 out with McBride and take instead of Josh Hart. At least you have everyone a shooter or McBride.
Right. Well, yeah, if you're starting Mitch, like,
I mean, if you want to have Towns as a center, then play a 5-out lineup. Don't play Josh Hart with Towns when there's no advantage there.
right.
The advantage to having Towns at your 5 is that everyone on the floor can shoot threes.
So how are you feeling about the rest of the series now?
Well, answer me this, Jay. Are the Knicks going to try the crazy play called the pick and roll with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns? Are they going to try that crazy, barely used play in the NBA called the pick and roll?
That's pretty outside the box.
Yeah.
What if?
I feel better about the series if they use that play.
What if instead Brunson just tried to foul bait the whole time?
Even I, as such a huge Brunson supporter, was kind of like, okay, do we really need him to like jump into a guy to get the 3-point foul? Like,
There was a couple plays in game 2 where he wasn't even trying to score. Sometimes he tries to like he'll make contact while also trying to score, but in game 2 he was literally just pulling a Harden and just trying to get to the line. Like it was not fun to watch, and it didn't work.
Well, in fairness, I don't want to bash Brunson. Won a little hero ball and so forth. I don't want to bash Brunson too much. I mean, the foul baiting is a little bit ridiculous. The play where the guy jumps in the air and you jump into him, that shouldn't even be allowed in the NBA. It was a little bit embarrassing, that kind of play. He was getting fouled a lot also, but it's hard to knock Brunson when he's the only guy on the goddamn floor for the Knicks who could score the basket.
True.
He was the only guy giving you any offense, really in both games. I mean, it was him and Cam in game 1, and really only him in game 2. So I really don't. I'm like,
Well, I mean, OG was good in game 1.
yeah, OG was going to. Yes, you're right. But game 2, I guess the more recent memory, everyone was horrible in offense besides Jalen Brunson. So I'm not going to give too much shit to Jalen Brunson. And people are like, he's doing too much hero ball. Have you seen the shit around him? No one even looked like they could play. The Knicks went 0 for their first, I think, 8 3-pointers in the game. It was ridiculous.
So they sacrificed a little on defense to have this incredible offense, and they had 2 18-point quarters in game 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not working. Cat at center is not giving you an advantage on offense. It's supposed to be an advantage on offense. It doesn't seem to be that way. So go to the traditional center plus Cat.
I don't even know what's going on, because if you look on paper, you're like, this team has a lot of talent. They should be, I mean, they might still, but they should win the series in like 5 games, like pretty handily. And I don't feel that like, I feel like they're going to win, but it's going to be like 6, maybe even like a grueling 7. And I don't feel like it should be like that. You look on paper and you're like, oh, Detroit's starting Hardaway and Tobias Harris. Like, this shouldn't be the way it goes.
No, not at all. By the way, do we want to go off on Cat and the fact, forgetting even his defense, what did he get, 10 points last night?
10 points, 0 in the whole second half.
$50 million and you're getting 10 points. And all you're doing also, I mean, it's partly Tibbs, I guess, but all you're doing is like, can you not hear? What's up?
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay. All you're doing basically is like you're trying to post up and do your like his drives to the basket, his reckless drives to the basket are just annoying as hell. And just like, how do you not put this guy in the pick and roll? How is he not the guy setting the pick, trying like the advantage there? Like it should be such an advantage having Brunson and Cat in a pick and roll, not even trying it.
No.
And also, Cat can't seem to get around Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is such a like he's now Ron Artest shutting down Cat.
I know. The guy hasn't been known for his defense for like 15 years, but all of a sudden he's locking down all the Knicks.
Yeah, and also like what he shoot? Cat shot what 2 threes? Missed that. Like he's not shooting a lot of threes. He's not like no advantage whatsoever.
None.
Okay, Tibbs' job is over. As everyone says, he's a floor raiser. He's not necessarily a ceiling raiser. And again, the Knicks are gonna go. I'm hoping the amount of trash we're talking right now, the Knicks just blow out Detroit the rest of the way. We look like morons. But
I'd rather look like morons and be wrong and have the Knicks win. I know some people want their take to be right. I hope this episode ages. It's our most poorly aged episode we've ever had.
So poorly. It's just everything about this is just so goddamn frustrating. Detroit, like it's also. I mean, in fairness to Brunson, it seems to me that Detroit is allowed to beat him up, and the Knicks, Cade. I mean, they were legitimately fouls on some of them at least. But like, it seemed like Cade was given a lot of leeway in terms of like what the Knicks were allowed to do to him. But like Brunson gets hit a lot.
I mean, Towns did too. How many times did Towns drive it? He took 0 free throws. The Knicks didn't get a free throw until the final minute of the half, which is pretty insane.
That was ridiculous.
So, I mean, we have a lot of complaints that the Knicks lost because they played poorly, but that did not help.
Oscar Thompson. I don't know. How do you pronounce his first name? Oscar? Sure. Okay. He keeps complaining like, I didn't touch him. I'm not doing anything. You keep running into him. You're not allowed to run into him. What about playing defense? You don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, there was one play where he just literally just ran over into Brunson, and he's like, I don't get it.
There was a play from game one. It didn't matter as much from game one. It's the beginning of game one, where they call a foul on Cade, and Cade just throws up his hands like, what are you talking about? He completely baffled. They go to the replay. He just shoves Brunson.
Yeah.
Just flat shoves him. They call a foul. He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do these things.
Yeah.
There were a lot of plays where the Knicks fouled Detroit. It's totally. I mean, I guess I saw online there's some plays where like Cade was clearly not fouled, and also the Josh Hart dunk at the end of the game where he clearly got fouled and they didn't call the N1 was a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, that definitely should have been an N1. That was
like the most. I could see that N1 from space.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. Letting Dennis Schroeder shoot that 3 and just like killing us was brutal though.
Brunson admitted after the game that he should have switched and he didn't, which I'm glad he's aware of it, but you gotta. It was with Hart. Like, you guys should be in sync at this point.
I mean, yes. Yeah, that was absolutely. Dennis Schroeder is a very good player who's had a weird NBA career because he is way better than like the 18 trades he's been involved in and like the bench minutes he only gets because he's a starting level player that only seems to play the bench.
He must have the worst attitude of all time.
Just maybe bad luck. He was on the Hawks. They moved on from him because they drafted Trey, which in retrospect they probably should never have drafted Trey.
Well, they drafted Luka.
Well, they drafted Luka. That's true. But then they would have traded Luka to the Lakers anyway.
Right.
And it's gonna be how wild is it gonna be if the Knicks lose to Detroit and Minnesota goes to the next round?
I could definitely see that. Minnesota's looking really good.
They look really good in game one.
And you know what? I'm happy to see Randall and Dante have a good playoff series.
I'm rooting for them to go to round 2. The Knicks better go to round 2 also. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Schroeder's 9th team, by the way.
Like, he's too good to play that many teams.
He's played on 4 teams in the last year and a half.
I know there was once where he turned down some big contract, maybe from the Lakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like that was a giant mistake. But beyond that, I mean, Yeah, I don't know what he does in the. I don't know what he's like in the locker room where no one wants him there on team. He seems to play pretty well on the court every time I see him. He's also like a. He's a two-way player. He's not just an offensive player. He plays really good defense. When they
Yeah.
got Thompson out of the game, I'm like, it's not that big of an advantage because Schroeder's going to cover Brunson just as well as Thompson was doing.
Although the Knicks have been fined twice for flopping violations, and Shooter threw himself over the half court line last night, and nothing. Not a
It
not
was
a
a
peep.
slight shove, but it was absurd. It was
He
really
launched himself. It was hilarious.
It was and the refs just some of the refs see this and they're like, well, he must have got fouled.
That's the thing. I think a lot of the foul calls are just guesses.
Yeah.
Like Towns doesn't like he complains after, but he doesn't like flop around while he's driving, and so he doesn't get the calls. Whereas if you get hit and you're like whoa, like they call it more often. It's stupid because they're just
It's if during the game the Knicks are down by 9 and like 5 minutes later the Knicks are down by 10 when they come back from commercial break because they reviewed the three and they said Cade's three was actually he was not on the line. Fine, if you could do that, review the most blatant foul call of flopping calls.
right.
Just do something with that. Just go like wild flop. Knicks get 2 free throws for the flop.
Yeah.
That's the only way to end the flopping is in-game free throws and but review them after. Like just review them. Give yourself.
There's a million timeouts. Review them during the timeouts.
Reviewing the timeouts. Come back from break. Give the team some free throws. Don't do something stupid where you're only going to use the flopping call once and it's against Brunson on a play where he didn't flop against Boston in Game 1 last year. Okay. You want to go through the
You
questions?
sound
Jay?
exhausted.
I'm
Yeah.
exhausted with anger of this. Like, I could not believe how frustrating. Like, I thought the Knicks were going to lose the game. Like, there were certain scenarios where I'm like, the Knicks are going to lose. So the Knicks are going to lose because they don't cover the three-point line. Malik Beasley's going to go 7 for 9 from 3 or 10 for 12 from 3. And I'll be like, fine. He went crazy from 3. I don't know why the Knicks can't goddamn cover him, but at least I could accept that.
Yeah.
I can't accept the shit where Detroit's not even hitting threes and the Knicks lose the game anyway. Timmy Hardaway starts and goes 0 for 8 and the Knicks lose the game anyway.
They shot worse from 3. They had more fouls and more turnovers, and the Knicks still lost.
Yeah, like it's just so ridiculous how poorly Detroit played and still won the game. Detroit turned the ball over 15 times and you lost the game.
Yeah, that's the concerning part.
It is so goddamn. Yeah.
If you're Detroit, you're feeling real good about this series now.
Yeah. I read this comment online. I just saw this on Reddit. Someone was blaming Tibbs and his Josh Hart bromance, but he's like, I don't know if that's the takeaway for this game. To be honest, it's definitely a problem. But OG, McHale, Cat combined for 3 for 18 from 3, 3 for 11 from McHale, and that's not a knock on him because he at least shot them for once. Then they combined 2 for 2 from the free throw line. If those 3 are supposed to be second, third, and fourth options, aren't even giving us any offensive contribution, Josh Hart plus Tibbs is not even close to our biggest problem. I promise you, if those 3 combined for at least 8 3-pointers on 35% and 10 free throws, this subreddit would be looking a lot different now.
Valid.
That's a pretty valid. I mean, you just got nothing from OG and Mikal Bridges and Cat. Cat, like, what do you? Cat's like, I'm the greatest shooting big man ever. Okay, cool. Have you? That's awesome. Have you shown up to the playoffs yet?
It's weird. It was just like, hey, let's just do like Brunson ISO hero ball for the entire second half and not get the other all-star involved or the very capable supporting roster.
Yes, but also Karl Towns was terrible. Every time he got the ball, he was terrible. Like his wild, like he was just like trying to like, hey Towns, like do more.
I mean,
Tibbs, have a goddamn game plan.
he wasn't terrible in the first half. He was like 5 for 10.
He was pretty terrible. I don't know. I find his wildness like, yeah, 5 for 10. Go if you're gonna shoot. You have this much size. Go 8 for 10. Like 50% from. Yeah, you're right. He wasn't terrible, but like he could do more. And to support what you're saying, I got a Tommy Beer tweet here. Um, Over the first 2 games of this series, Brunson has passed the ball to Towns a total of 12 times. Per NBA tracking, he's passed the ball 38 times to Bridges, 32 to Hart, and 12 to Cat.
That's no good.
Yeah, I mean, that's on Brunson, but also I don't know. Do they have a coach who could say, "Hey, pass the ball to the other guy"? That's the other focal point of our offense.
Yeah.
I know everything about like. I don't want to go off too much on Brunson because like at least he was the only guy scoring. I don't. But holy shit, what a goddamn frustrating game. You want to go some questions, Jay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go some questions. Okay. Nomad writes, thought on how hard Brunson foul baits and ends up on the floor. It reminds me of Harden and Trae Young.
It was,
Yeah.
He had that rep like for the last 2 years. Other fans of other teams were saying how he flops, and I didn't think he flopped. I think he exaggerates contact when he gets hit, but he was outright flopping last night. I can't even defend it.
There were a couple plays late in the game. IEM Radio. Why did we let Dennis Schroeder beat us? Why is the offense so predictable? Why did Payne or Mitch not play more minutes?
I mean, Schroeder beat us, but they could also say Campaign beat us for game 1. I mean, guys get hot, but I mean, it's the way it was. It was another wide open 3 because they just couldn't figure out how to do a normal switch. It wasn't even anything fancy. It was just a pick and pop.
And the Knicks also, you're right. They ran no offense whatsoever last night. Like there's no you're not you're not throwing some alley oops to Mitch. You're not doing anything to keep the defense still honest.
Jay Shady Road. Campaign has no problem jacking up threes with no conscience, but Cat doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cat should be playing like Campaign. Cat has the talent to play like Campaign.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's do some more questions. I just found we got 15 minutes. I gotta stop the show at 7:20.
That's fine.
I gotta pick my shot.
We're on to the questions portion. We're almost there.
Okay, so Buddy writes, does our head coach realize you can design plays where Towns will catch it deeper in the paint and not have to post up at the 3-point line?
No, we need 4 to 6 dribble post-ups with the potential for multiple double teams during that. That's the way to do it.
He's posting up right inside the 3-point line. If you want to give it to him around the 3-point line, do it outside the 3-point line and have him shoot the 3, or near the basket. Like, it is insane how little they set him up. You're right. I'm trying to not go off on Brunson only because like he's the only guy that could score, but like maybe if he passed the ball wide. What a goddamn frustrating game. Buddy writes, why wasn't Payne in the game? Did Tibbs forget that he was the reason we won the first game?
Maybe Tibbs thought he fouled out at halftime instead of had 3 fouls.
The bench only gets 3 fouls tonight. Do 665 whatever. How come Cat went without a shot in the fourth quarter? Did OG play last night? All I saw was Cade doing whatever he wanted. Was that the plan, to let Brunson bring the ball up, run around, and get the ball to every other shot, even though it was forced most of the time? It was mellow ball.
It was bad. Bridges and Cat combined for 0 points in the fourth quarter in a playoff game.
Holy shit. Base Nick fan writes, when can Jay admit Tibbs is the problem? Running ISO for 5 minutes in the fourth doesn't seem like winning basketball. Plus, not having Cat or Bridges involved doesn't help either. Side note: Josh Hart is ass.
I gotta tell you,
I'm gonna do the reveal today. I am base Nick fan.
I gotta tell you, the door is open and I have 1 foot on the pavement. I'm almost off the wagon.
Maybe Josh Hart goes to hero ball. Totally, like it's his instinct when we're down to go hero ball. He's got to be reined in by a coach. If the coach is like, my entire offense is just organic, whatever the players do on the floor.
Then you're not coaching.
Right.
I could do that.
I was saying before, the knock on Tibbs is that like he's a floor raiser. He will get your bad team to the playoffs. He'll get your 8th seed to the 4th seed. He will make your team better, play harder, do everything. But you got to go to that next level. It may not be Tibbs to take you to that next
I mean, if his offense is really just figure it out organically, guys, like pay me $500,000 and I'll say that. Save a lot of money.
I'll take $400,000. I'm going to undercut Jay.
$398.
God damn it! I'm not doing for a penny under $397. I have my pride. Yeah, it's just so. Again, Tibbs is not going to be the coach in the fall. He is not coaching this team. I don't care. The Knicks aren't beating the Celtics. I wish they would. They're not beating the Celtics. There is no chance he's coaching this team because the evaluation at the end of the season, they'll just say, we need to take this team to the next level, and the best way to do that is get a coach who's better with the offense. Tristan writes, how do we beat Detroit?
God. A week ago, I did not expect a question to say, how do we beat Detroit? I was expecting, what do you think of the matchups against Boston? Because we just won the first 2 games by a combined 65 points. How do you beat Detroit? You have to have a more coherent offense. It can't just be Brunson hero ball the entire time. I still think you stagger the bench players. Play the bench players. I mean, really, Tibbs had a 7-man lineup in game 2. And that you can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I know you cut the bench minutes during the playoffs, but a 7-man lineup is ridiculous, especially when one of those 2 guys on the bench isn't the guy who saved your ass in game 1. It's stupid.
Getting Josh Hart going 2 for 6 in 40 minutes, not that helpful.
Detroit only scored 100 points. It's not even like, yeah, Cade killed them, but they only really had Cade and Schroeder go off. Nobody else was like really good. You should be able to win a playoff game like that.
Okay, Bridges and OG show up earlier in the game. Josh Hart, shoot the shots when you're open. Towns, be the $50 million guy you are. Towns should not be. Okay, I'm calling it. If Towns scores under 20 points in any of these playoff games going forward, Trump should deport him to El Salvador.
And McBride's got to find whatever mojo he had going a few months ago.
He's got to not be this terrible. Or just, hey, 5 minutes ago, Landry Shamet looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the regular season, let Shamet play a little bit. Like, let these guys play a little more. You have to play your bench a little more.
Yeah, 4 minutes and 5 minutes for 2 bench players is not a winning formula.
I would like to see Mitch play 30 minutes. Mitch next to Town for Towns for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that. I don't know if I've said that already. Paul writes, "Ugh, this offense. I'm always talking about it though, so I'll skip past my main gripes. How sick are you of Brunson's foul hunting? Yes, I mean these are diehard Knicks fans. Yes, there were and are times he doesn't get calls and needs to enhance the getting foul experience, but now it seems like most of his offense."
Yeah, I mean that we touched on that earlier. He was literally not even trying to score at some point in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Like just jumping into players and taking wild. He took one shot that didn't even look like a shot. He just flung the ball in the general vicinity of the net. And I was like, what are you doing? What is that?
What are you like? Yeah, and like we're not gonna win too many games with Brunson hero ball. Brunson's awesome.
Yeah.
But, like, you've got to trust your teammates, and your teammates have to step up.
You can't be like, hey, the refs didn't really give us any calls in the first half. Let's make the end of the game dependent on the refs changing their mind after 3 quarters and giving us all these calls. Like,
I mean,
not a good strategy.
Tibbs did the right thing calling out the refs for, like, not giving Brunson enough, the foul calls in general.
Yeah.
But, like, you got to complain. You got to complain to the refs. I get that at the end of the game, but, like, I don't know. Get the ball to goddamn. You're right. Get the ball to Towns. Why is Towns not like? What are we doing here with this offense?
The strategy can't be let's hope the refs bail us out. That can't be the strategy for the game.
Tibbs, your strategy, Tibbs, cannot be let's hope Brunson bails us out. It cannot be hey, I'm not going to call any plays because hey, let's just see how it goes. And it almost worked also. So, Paul writes, we've seen coaches fired with 2 games left in the season before going into the playoffs. How about before Game 3 of a certain Eastern Conference series?
I mean, if the Knicks get blown out in game 3, yeah, do it. Why not?
How funny would that be? I mean, not fun. I mean, like how people will be like, um, did the Knicks really just fire their coach midway through a playoff series
Yeah.
that who has 3 years left on his contract?
I mean, you think Memphis should.
I mean, Memphis.
I know they just fired their coach. Fire the new coach too. They just lost by 50 points in a playoff game.
I mean, that was so ridiculous. Okay, we don't like game 3 is Thursday. We'll do more shows very soon. Do you want to comment on any other series?
I mean, the Memphis series should just not be a series. It's a dumb Memphis OKC, like just
This on the recent Simmons podcast. They just kind of they're like, this won't actually happen. But if you lose by a certain amount of points, should they just like award a second loss to you in the series?
I think if the series is that lopsided, like this is a waste of everybody's time.
Not a waste of the NBA who wants to make money, but like,
Are people really tuning in when Memphis is down by 45 or is anybody tuning in?
why don't they say if you lose by 60? Again, this is like Bob Barnes from Bill Simmons, but you lose by 60, you lose 2 games that night.
I'd be down for that.
Because then the other team's gonna be like, well, we played one less game, let's do it. If you lose by 80, the series is over.
Yeah.
God, that would be a fucking like, we just 3 point like Ja makes a 3. You're like, Ja made the 3 to cut the lead to 79. We're gonna have a game 3.
Or they're just so demoralized they all just sit down and let the other team score, just to make the series over with.
Okay, so that one's ridiculous. The entire East is ridiculous. The only other series that matters in the East, or assume might matter, is Indiana Milwaukee. Indiana won the first game, but I think that's gonna be a tight series, right?
It might be. I mean, they're up 16-8 in game 2. In theory it should be, but when your backup plan is Kuzma, like this could get ugly.
That's a big trade for deadline acquisition.
Giannis is going to have to go nuts like every game for them to stand a chance. So, I don't know. That series could get ugly. I think the Pacers are going to win. Cleveland's a waste of time. Celtics is a waste of time. Celtics might even lose a game. Tatum's like questionable. Doesn't matter. They're going to win.
Doesn't matter.
They could sit Tatum the whole series and probably still win this. So
yeah. The West is interesting. Minnesota
Yeah.
Lakers. I mean, obviously, only game 1, but I do think Minnesota's going to win that series. But
Yeah,
I think
me
they'll,
too.
Like 6 or 7.
Yep.
OKC obviously is not a series. Golden State, decent chance they upset Houston. And not even decent. I think they're gonna. I think 6 games they upset Houston.
There could be 3 out of 4 upsets in the West.
So also like Houston was the 2 seed with
Yeah.
they only have like 3 more victories or 4 more victories than Golden State. So like it's
Right. The West was so
guess
tight.
yeah.
It's not a typical 2-7. It's not like a Celtics Magic where there's like a 20 game difference.
right. And also you had the pre and post Golden State with Jimmy Butler. So like the team with Jimmy Butler was flat out better than the team without Jimmy Butler. So
I have to say, I am surprised how big of a difference Butler made.
huge difference. Apparently a huge difference.
Yeah.
I think Houston's going to lose. And Houston will lose and they will trade for Kevin Durant.
That sounds like a very realistic scenario.
Yeah, that sounds pretty realistic. And hopefully the Knicks do not trade for Kevin Durant. If they lose to Detroit, wild things are going to happen this offseason.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, Jay?
nyknickspodcast@gmail.com if you want to email us. We're nyknickspodcast on everything else: Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, Facebook. And I just hope next episode's more positive, and we're talking about being up 3-1 and winning in 5.
Are the Knicks going to blow out the next game? Then we're going to look stupid for all these terrible takes. The Knicks are going to shoot well. Like it's going to be.
I think the
They're gonna
Knicks are
crush
going to win Game 3 big, but I have no idea what's going to happen in Game 4. They might just lay another egg. Like I really don't like. I don't know what team's going to show up day to day. I do think they're going to come out pissed off and trounce them in Game 3, but it could be 2-2 when we talk again next week.
The Knicks missed a lot of open threes, just flat out open threes. It was pretty brutal last night.
It was. I mean, they shot 28%, but Detroit shot 22%. So They still should have won.
They should have won. I mean, they could also shoot more than 35 threes, but whatever. I mean, 35 is fine. I mean, they should shoot 40, but like, it's crazy. But like, there were so many threes they goddamn missed. Like, they were just flat out like Bridges missed a ton, but Brunson missed a ton. Like, all I know is that whatever bench player plays well in next game will not see the floor again until Boston.
So weird. So weird. I don't know.
Weird. So
I would love for all these people who have access to Tibbs and do the post-game interviews to ask these questions.
Yeah. Though I did enjoy seeing Nico Harris questions that I asked him, like why should you? He got asked why should you have this job next year. I gotta run. I gotta go pick my son. So
All right.
But for entertainment though, anyone should go look up clips of Nico Harrison defending himself. It was pretty hilarious.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week, hopefully talking about a 3-1 series lead. Goodbye, everybody.
Maybe back sooner if we get really happy.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
Talk to you later.